Welcome everyone to the Wednesday Night Live show. We are back. Michelle's here. Phillip is here, and Charles. Hold on, I'm getting double play here. Hold on. That always happens.
You might be talking through a code.
I don't think you have your microphone
mic
active. I think you might have your computer speaker active.
Hold on, it is playing games with me. I see it. It is good.
Thank you, guys. My other host on my other shows never point that out, and then it's just like, hey, John. Welcome everybody to the Wednesday Night Live show. We're back. Michelle is here, Phillip is here, and Sir Charles is here. Lindsay will be joining us here shortly, and Allison is on her way as well. And we've got a full show and a lot of topics to talk about. The main topic is the FDA and a little bit of chaos that's going on over there, and how we feel it's going to affect us, if any. I don't know. We're going to talk to Charles about that and get to know, hopefully, get to know a little bit of, I don't know what to call him, either Marty, but whatever his name is, Mitch, Mike, I don't know. The new FDA commissioner. Before we get started, we're going to ask Sir Charles how his week is going, Mr. Charles.
Actually, excellent. Very good. I'm going to be in Bangladesh in about a month, but only if my passport gets back from the State Department. And God knows what's going on there.
Yeah.
And then once it comes back, I have to go get a visa. So it's looking a little iffy.
A similar problem right now. It's let's just say that my situation is I actually lost my naturalized U.S. citizen certificate, which is somehow required to renew my passport because I waited too long to. Anyhow, it was my the last certified copy I had was destroyed in a home flooding. The long and short of it is I sent in my application with payments. I want to say it's now 12 weeks, and the max for a 1978 naturalization is 16 weeks. So I'm giving them 4 more, and then I'm calling JD.
Yeah, I waited now. It took 3 months to get my birth certificate from Philadelphia. And so I can get the new driver's license, so I can get the real ID, so I can go in federal buildings and get on planes.
Well, I can get my Canadian birth passport, but right now that's
it's not. And then it shows up, right? And what do? I'm going through boxes last night, and what's in this box? My mom had saved it all nice in a nice padded envelope and everything. And I opened my 1968 birth certificate, South Philly, St. Thomas Hospital. I was like, God, I just spent like $40 for that stupid thing, and here I got the original in my hand. Moms are great for that. The original's
always good for that. Yeah,
you got off lucky, man. Between the what I'm paying for the form and what I'm going to end up having to pay for letting my passport lapse for as long as I did. Let's just say that
Is there room in a carry-on for me, Charles?
So depends on how small you are. It depends on whether I'm going business class or economy class. I'm not sure yet. But if I'm business class, we'd probably, if we break your leg bones,
there we go.
Then John is deceptively tall. He's sitting down, but he's pretty tall.
I'm 6'4", so we have to break.
So if you want to try and break someone in half, I'll go with you if I have to. I'd prefer to go in one piece, but hey, any which way.
Reacher does it all the time, so I don't see why we couldn't do that.
Point. And Phillip, how's your week going, buddy?
Well, I am finally rid of this influenza. Please do get your flu shots every year, because the one year that I whiffed, I paid. It was bad. And things are interesting times. A lot of family drama, some good, some bad, some weird. And let me see. I'm trying to think. Went to a debutante event in this part of the world called the Crew Ball last weekend. Yeah, it's been a while since I actually had to rent a tux. I owned a tux for a long time, and well, that doesn't fit. So all of the so everything. It was nice to see the people I grew up and everyone else. Well, that was. Let's just say this is a very interesting part of the world. I would like to see it become a little more inviting to people from other parts of the world. I think Birmingham has come a long way. I think most people would be surprised at how I would say how much this city has to offer. Everywhere else in Alabama, that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah. I always felt welcome there. When I was driving trucks, that was one of my favorite places to go.
It's beautiful.
Down south, it was just the people were nice. The restaurant, the waitresses were nice. Everybody.
Restaurants in Birmingham, Alabama, are the kind of thing that no one actually believes exists until they eat there. It's just, it's not like we have. It's the quality, not necessarily the quantity. And of course, hopefully the continuing research that goes on at UAB, there are more damn doctors around here than you can shake two sticks at, which is.
Hey, Phil, that was where I was introduced to, and now remember, I'm an Italian boy with two Italian parents, to grits and biscuits and gravy.
Yeah, I forget that all the time.
At least somebody finally taught you the truth.
I was like, these are grits and this is biscuit and gravy. And I'm like, well, why? Why would you put this sauce all over biscuits for? And I ate them, and it was delicious.
Yeah. See, when they're good, they're good. When they're not good, they are.
Starch on top of starch. That's what you need.
So, Phillip, you're Canadian?
I have dual citizenship. I was born in Hamilton, Ontario.
So how do you feel about poutine?
Excuse me? No, I know. I thought you were trying. I wasn't sure if you were trying to do a riff on the Russian dictator's last name. But how do I feel about it? I actually don't feel about it. Not crazy.
Charles through the.
I'm a much bigger fan of the Canadian version of pastrami, which is smoked meat, which, as far as I'm concerned, destroys New York Jewish deli. Oh my God! Like, who would have thought the best deli, the best pastrami, best corned beef you've ever had is in Montreal?
Montreal, and it's cheaper too. No, I'm kidding. Michelle, before Phillip makes me extremely hungry and wanted to go to Togo's to get a pastrami sandwich. How is your week?
Charles, I imagine you feel pretty well about poutine, because I have not yet known you to shy away from a single culinary experience out there, period.
I will try anything. I've actually never had it, but I'm aware of a Canadian comedian who made fun of George Bush Jr.
I saw this bit. Who is it?
By asking him about President Putin of Russia, and got him saying, President Putin.
Oh God!
I assume he just thought that's the way Canadians pronounce it.
Michelle, how should we go?
It's going really good. It's going really good. Phillip was talking about the debutantes, and my mom used to want to put me in debutante school. Yeah, me. Of all people.
She's on me.
There's me. You mean elocution school, or the debutante thing in here is basically just you pay a bunch of money and you can get in, basically.
That's basically what she wanted to do, but she wanted me to have the refinery, the delicacies, because I guess she knew that, hey, I was a little wild child for a little bit.
She wanted you to know the proper fork.
I told her, no,
there's a thing called elocution.
I'm all for it, and I can set a table and I can do all that other stuff, but it wasn't me, and I told her no. So
and you
I grew up in New Orleans.
You have to carry books.
Exactly, and walk right. And I never.
We must increase our bus.
No, I don't need to. Okay. But it was one of those things, and it was just you know.
Is it a finishing school? Is that what I'm thinking of?
It's basically a finishing school.
Yeah, finishing school. Yeah.
But this would have been like an after school thing, and I just told her if she could make me go, fine, but I'm not going. Period. You know. So, I mean, I should have probably. It probably would have helped me, but you know, so would the military, and I never went there either. So.
Well, here's the thing. It's people from various who grew up in different parts of certain parts of Birmingham and went to certain high schools mostly, but it's definitely not based on your proper etiquette. I assure you. So
well, you know, growing up in New Orleans and they have all those balls and all that, you know, I think she used to really enjoy that, you know, and
no, for the kids,
you know, and I was a little girly girl, you know, but I was also the first one that would be fine to, you know, go play baseball and land on my side at, you know, going through the air and all that stuff. You know, I could do
tomboy.
Yeah. I was, but I was also a little girly girl. So I think she wanted me to become more of a girly girl than I'm.
Yeah, that was
I love mom. You know,
I love my daughter. My daughter, my wife would put her in this beautiful white dress to go. We're going out to a party, and then where's Hope? She's outside on her skateboard on this dress with her helmet on. I'm like, what are you doing, honey?
That would have been me. That would have been me.
I want to ride my board a little bit before we go to the party. I'm like, no. And then can I take the board to the party? I go, no, you can't take your skateboard to the party.
But, you know, bugs and me, couldn't do bugs. Nope.
I think children should wear animal costumes till the age of 13.
See, I never did that. Did that, but I was never really
if they choose, they should have that.
Well, for me, I wasn't like that.
Well, my
week anyway, I had a great week.
Yeah, Phillip's in the furry community.
The furry community.
No, I just think it's
not that extreme. Not at that extreme.
Rest in peace, Royal Tenenbaum.
Yeah. Well, I've been going through boxes this week, and that's where I found the birth certificate. And I posted earlier this week. I found a first grade test that I took in Catholic school, and I got all the answers right. And then on the top right hand corner in red ink, because I loved how the nuns used to do it in red ink, 0 cheating. And that was written on it, 0 cheating. I go, who cheats in first grade? There's no, and they were basic. It was 3 + 2. 5 + 1. I was just
back up. The cheating was the cheating. I guess
I don't know.
The verdict was cheating because you didn't get anything wrong.
I guess. I mean, Sister Pasqualina.
John, did you cheat?
But you're 6. The answer was 6 because I remember looking at it, and the answer was 6, but you had it transposed, so it was backwards. And I think she thought you were looking over at somebody else's paper because you wrote it backwards.
Okay. Yeah, I would.
But maybe you have a little dyslexia.
Can I say this back to you so I
think
I know what's going on? Your first grade teacher,
right?
It was graded, and somehow you know that you got every answer right, and then in the corner it says 0 cheating after
red ink 0, and then she wrote cheating.
And yet at the same time, you know that she graded every answer as correct.
Yeah, it was horrible. Yeah, it was horrible, but she had it in for me.
Obviously, your test scores up to that point would indicate that a perfect score is not possible.
It's not. No, not for this Italian.
Did you cheat?
My former wife was born in Georgetown, Guyana, and she showed me her birth certificate once from Guyana. She grew up in Canada, actually. She grew up in Ottawa. And here's the birth certificate. And if you turned it over, there were instructions. Please, if your baby is sick, bring to hospital. Do not wait until baby is half dead.
What?
Wow.
Can you expand a little bit on that? Okay, so you are indeed
1967 birth and Guyana, Georgetown, Guyana.
I gotta turn my birth.
True.
I gotta turn mine around.
I saw it. Yeah. Do not wait until baby is half dead.
half dead.
I mean, it was a family joke in her family. They thought it was hysterically funny.
I'm thinking Georgetown is definitely not. I mean, it's a very let me see. It's fully. Yeah, it's a modern city, is it not? Very.
It's a big city.
Yeah, it's a big city.
It's a middle-income country with a lot of corruption.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, is it as large as I think it is? I mean, I'm not saying Mexico City large, but it's pretty damn big, isn't it?
I don't know, actually.
Yeah.
I pictured it serving several 100,000 people. I don't think it's that big. There aren't that many people in Guyana.
Daya, Canada? Is that how you guys? Was that what you're saying?
Oh yeah,
Daya, Canada.
Daya,
I will tell you right now, guys.
We need to say hello to everybody too.
Oh yeah.
Don't let us forget.
Yeah, no, I won't. Daya, Canada.
I don't understand what the hell you're talking about, and I'm Canadian.
Hello, everybody out there. I'm not going to do it like Tim. I can't do it. Hello, Mallory, Robert.
Are you sure you don't want to try?
Mallory, Hunky V. That's yeah. I'm not going to go through. I can't do that. I can't do it like Tim. And then they razz me. So I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it, guys. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, you're the host. You don't get any razzing. I mean, that's like love.
What we're going to talk about tonight, I'm going to go ahead and read this here first. Nearly 10,000 employees returned to the Food and Drug Administration headquarters in Maryland on Monday to what one worker described as a Hunger Game type situation in which employees encountered packed parking lots, overflowed workspace, the lack of basic supplies, and long security lines. Welcome back to your job, I guess. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, I tried to look up some stuff on Mr. Say it again, his last name, because I don't have it in front of me. McCary?
I'd say McCary, but
all right. I will go with that. I couldn't find anything on this guy as far as his view on tobacco. The only thing I could find was this, so I'm going to go ahead and play this, and then you guys can we'll discuss it here. Hold on, let me make sure I get this right. Share screen. Boom. And please let me know if you cannot hear it. Okay, so this is all I could find. This is all I could find.
Found later.
Yeah, I looked everywhere for anything that would give me at least an indication of where he kind of stands on this issue at all. And he really doesn't address it that much here, but this is all I could find.
First, I want to talk to you about what is going on with the FDA, and it's burying its head in the sand about illegal, chemically ridden, extraordinarily high amounts of nicotine, Chinese vapes that are flooding the United States market. In fact, 2/3 of the export market from China for vapes, 2/3 of our market here are Chinese vapes coming out of China. So,
oh my God.
It's unbelievable. They are in flavors like strawberry blow pop, watermelon, sour berry, attracting children, addicting children. We have so many, thousands and thousands and thousands of pending applications. Most of these things are illegal in the United States right now, but yet somehow China has decided to flood our market with illegal vapes. With the United States market of illegal vapes, and they're benefiting. In fact, in China, they banned flavored vapes. And so all of the manufacturers there of these chemically ridden vapes have now flooded our market and now are addicting our children, much like we're seeing this in many other ways, and harmful substance coming from China, and they're not doing much about it, fentanyl, etc. So whoever comes in as the head of FDA, this is one of your problems you have to address immediately. I know there are a lot of things that you're going to get questioned about, but these things are all over the United States in convenience stores. They're readily available to children. If you walked in any one right now, you would be able to find them. And not only are the amounts of nicotine going up and up and up and up, we don't know what is in these things. And there has been little to nothing done to deal with our pending applications at the FDA or to enforce those that we know are illegal right now. How would you address this, and what do you plan to do on day one?
Well, thank you, Senator. I appreciate your passion on this important issue, and I've appreciated your work as Attorney General in Florida on this issue. Maybe it's because you both believe in doing the right thing and because you're a baseball mom that you're interested in this.
I first heard about this on the bleachers at a
On the
baseball
bleachers.
game.
On the bleachers.
I think there are 4 new vaping stores that have popped up in my neighborhood all in the last few years. I've not walked into one of them, although perhaps I should, to check it out.
Yes,
but,
you should.
You are absolutely right that we are being flooded with Chinese products. We have no idea what's in these products, and public health is not even going to be able to study them because it takes so long for public health research to catch up. But it's very concerning, and it's not right that they're banned. Products are banned in China, and yet they're manufacturing them and sending them into the United States. So there are a few things the FDA can do to try to address this problem. First of all, the Office of Inspections and Investigations has a lot of people with guns, and they do enforcement and raids.
Violence.
We need
Violence.
collaboration with DOJ and other areas of law enforcement to try to address this problem of illegal products on our market.
We are criminals.
There was
We're
an
criminals.
announcement during the last administration, and I won't get into much of they were going to, once people finally convinced them that this is out of control and people are getting addicted by the day, there was this big announcement about task force to use all the tools available. That's great, and enforcement needs to be key. Florida had to finally step up and do it ourselves because the federal government would do nothing. But the first key has to be, what do we do?
Why you're not there anymore?
How do you first? You need to know what the law is before you can enforce it. Let's start there. Please focus on that, and then we'll also work on the enforcement measures.
Love the dress.
Charles,
she's such a drama queen. I'm sorry, but you know,
I
she's
thought
such a drama
that
queen.
Mr. Nick et al. Had given her a proper education on this subject. She sounds like, well, she knows. Does she also know that, the Chinese vapes are a consequence of the FDA's actions?
She knows.
Or rather, inaction?
No, I honestly, like, somebody's clearly has misinformed Senator Moody.
Yeah, from the baseball.
Really be asking, like,
that's where you learn all about science and the goddamn baseball bleachers.
Who's doing the misinforming? Because teen use of those flavored disposables has not increased. In fact, it's actually decreased. And it's adult use and sales of those products.
That's actually, Charles, back up. That's a good question, because I do believe that Nick Orlando and she met, and there was a favorable outcome where she was more supportive of Florida's small businesses, and she understood a little bit more about vaping products. And what she just said at the confirmation hearing sounds like someone or an organization that has been, I hate saying it that way. No, she's been pressured by an organization. She's
spinning the standard narrative, and the standard narrative right now is being pushed by 2 different entities. One is like Tobacco Free Kids and Parents Against Vaping, PAVE, and the other is Big Tobacco. So like this is the party line of the modern bootleggers and Baptists. That's what's going on right now.
So you're saying not one, but both are equally significant?
This is going to protect Big Tobacco's cigarette sales and their vape sales, the ones that are authorized, but ones that no adults use that are authorized by FDA so far, 7 devices out of 26 million applications. And then it's, the kind of the zealots who are, just think of the children's stuff, who are just grotesquely inflating teen use numbers.
Lindsay, what were you saying? Go ahead.
Hi, Lindsay, by the way.
Yeah. Hello, Lindsay.
I drove 8 hours today. Crap. Yeah, I don't know if I'm fully awake at this point yet. So, it's interesting. I'm starting to she's not the only one that has that mentality, and these big Chinese vapes or whatnot. I can't give any names or whatnot, but I'm also going to start looking more into it. But I did stumble across a sponsor of one of these bills, and in their district this year, they had retail shops that got cited for selling views to underage people.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's they're the mentality right now. I mean, you look at some of the stuff, it is, you know, and it's largely the misinformation is coming from the tobacco companies. You actually start seeing CTFK, American Lung Association, Heart Association have all came out against, you know, the vape directories and this whole idea of like, you know, not eliminating the disposable nicotine market. But, and yeah, because they know it's going to protect, tobacco. I mean, but the thing is like, I'm debating doing it this weekend. I really want to go out to Louisiana and see how well that freaking directory bill is actually working and see like, oh, and just do like selfies, like look at the wall of disposable vapes behind me, like, you know, and
this weekend,
you know, don't do it on Snapchat, don't share my location, you know, don't really narc on them, but, and they're also confusing too, when you're looking at the state level. I was doing some of the numbers for, in Oklahoma, for example, there's 11,000 products that can be for sale, for sale, and then in Louisiana, it's like 489. So 22 times more the amount of products are available for sale in Oklahoma. So now you're starting to have a little bit of segregation going on at the state level. Like, you know, I mean, it's kind of like the abortion thing. If you got to go get an abortion, you got to go hop state lines. It's, you know, just if you want to get, you know, you got to go hop state lines. So it's going to be interesting to see how
Louisiana's like a goddamn third world country these days. Pardon my French. I am so very sorry for the profanity.
But we don't know what's in them.
Go ahead, Charles. What was that, Charles?
We don't know what's in them. Does anyone ask that question about a new beer?
Jeremy Mann is one of the editors at Vaping 360.
Barley and yeast and water and alcohol.
That's it. I've seen pictures of s'mores, massive manufacturing complex in Shenzhen. It's more advanced than anything we have in the States.
God, yes.
It's ridiculous.
So, Phil Pizarro showed us. I mean, he went there a couple years ago.
Jeremy Mann,
just amazing.
Jeremy Mann, who does a lot of the really hard disposable reviews. He's a friend of Jim McDonald's. He's a great guy. You know, I had the pleasure of speaking with him for a while about these different things, and he got to visit, and his jaw was on the floor.
Yeah.
And let's just say that, if ever there was, I'm sure knockoffs, that, no one wants this, but let's just say to vilify them is that we don't know what's in these products. Well, guess what? I would, I don't see the point in this.
But Charles makes a good point. We don't give a crap about what's in our food and what we've been eating for the last 20, 30 years. But all of a sudden, this product that's saving lives, that's out there, all of a sudden everyone's concerned about what's in it. But they don't give a crap of what's in our cereals or what's in our breakfast or any of that stuff. So it drives me
or
crazy.
Cigarettes. They don't care about what's in cigarettes.
Actually, I was learning about that, like food additives, right? So in processed foods, the processed food industry, they can just come up with new ingredients, and they just, all they have to do is tell the FDA, this is not, basically not likely to be harmful, and they can just stuff it in, whatever it is. None of that. There's no toxicology testing. There's no none of the really overly burdensome regulations that are being applied to vaping. That's crazy.
Well, this is what he listed. This is what he listed his top concerns when he comes into office: is women's health. The need to concern alternative non-medical treatments for certain diseases. The overuse of antibiotics in the United States, the vaccine mandate I don't want to go into that word because we'll get in trouble, and encouraging more nutritional foods, and the role of the FDA and working with Dr. Oz for Medicare. Nothing about, I know that we're not on a list, but how far down do you feel, Phillip, we're on that list?
As far as I know, the only thing that the Center for Tobacco Products has done since change of administration is tout their real costs, real inside study on the number of youth vaping cases they prevented, which I think Dr. Rodau wrote about, which equates to something along the lines of over 600,000 adults that they kept smoking. So very well done. But it was a situation. I graded my own paper and I got a perfect score. Well done. And that's the only thing I've seen out of FDA tobacco. Do I think that Macari is truly concerned or interested in tackling, smoking or maybe tobacco harm reduction? I have no idea. These confirmation hearings, historically, in my opinion, have been a lot of theater and a lot of yes and knowing. And thank you for your awful question. And I just don't know exactly what we're going to see from him. I want to think that we will have, maybe he will bring a more open mind to the set. But right now, it's Brian King. He can leave him there as long as he wants. And who knows? Brian King, being Brian King, he might become our very best friend if Macari says so. But in the meantime, I think it's important that people who voted for our current president to be for ever since I started voting in elections, I said, if I vote for this person and I get them elected, I will be the first one to yell if they do something stupid, bonehead. Let's just say that our current president is wasting a lot of time and not fulfilling certain campaign promises like the one he made to us. So let's just say in order for us to get to business, we need to stop fucking around.
Yeah, but I think he made that promise, and I'm not trying to defend him, but I think there's a lot more important stuff on his list than say us. So I get why it hasn't come up from him.
I think he also knew the extent of everything too. I mean, he met with a few people. I'm going to say, I think he understands all the nuances to really address the disarray that is federal, state, and local regulation of vapor products.
Yeah. Hey, Charles, are you surprised that it even came up during his hearing?
No, because we're in the midst of a moral panic, as we all know. But I will say I have watched a number of interviews with Martin Macari, and I have to say I'm cautiously optimistic. In those interviews that I watched, he was touting his book, and I can't remember if it was
he talks about his book a lot.
Blind Spot or Unaccountable. Yeah. But so we need to understand he's a medical doctor. He's not a researcher.
Right.
And he seems very open-minded to thinking sort of outside the box about, here's what the carved in stone public health message is, but here's what people are actually doing. So I kind of came away from that feeling like if somebody gets his ear, like other than somebody like Matt Myers, and actually educates him about what's going on in the tobacco control field, he could, like he just turned around in the video you showed us. He just turned around and said, "Yeah, we don't know what's in them," and blah blah blah. Well, like all that standard narrative. Like I often wonder how much do these people know? About what's really going on and who are pushing those narratives right now. And I don't know. But if this episode of Wednesday Night Live is about is FDA in disarray now, it's been in disarray. It's been in disarray for years.
Right.
Yeah. Disarray since they got started, in 1932. All right.
Well, at least in our field since 2016 when they.
MSNBC had to have.
But we do have the blueprints for them to authorize more products. They are right there. We have enough authorized to where they can start to use those authorizations as templates for future ones. So I say we stop wasting time and start looking at what they need and getting it to them. And in the meantime, I can confirm that yes, Reynolds and probably Altria too. They are most definitely still pushing every stupid add-on to our current registry bill in Alabama, which is already a done deal. Yes, but yeah, I met them. They smell terrible, but I think it's important to know that let's just say that if it is entirely, tobacco companies wanting, to clear the shelves of, any other product that competes with their own, which, let's just say that's a much easier let's just say that's a lot easier.
This is just standard corporate behavior. This is what giant soulless.
Well, it's not, because it's not standard corporate behavior. It's actually deplorable, because what it's doing is saying we want to make the money,
try to kill their competitors.
But instead of innovating, they want to go ahead and take away the products that people are already using instead of smoking cigarettes, and that is not standard corporate practice, I would say.
Well, let me ask Lindsay, do the current numbers that we have that are showing youth vaping coming down, is this going to help us in when he looks at, he finally digs into this industry, and as a commissioner of the FDA?
Say that again? About the youth numbers? Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, he's going to look at those numbers. Is he going to see the declining youth vaping and then the increase?
Sorry, excuse me. They haven't been looking at those numbers, and they keep issuing denial orders. Last year, even though the numbers were down for 2023 and everything. So no, the youth appeal stuff's always going to be the shtick on it. I honestly just don't think the agency wants to do the work. I mean, the onus is on them. It's up to they have to go through to make sure all of these applications are thorough and everything. And I don't think they have the manpower, and I don't think they want to do it.
Well, I mean, as far as him,
which is exactly why
it was not designed. That's what I was trying to look it up.
As far as him, because he's fresh new eyes looking at this. Do you think this is going to help us in a way? Because he's probably not seeing these numbers. He's probably not paying attention to vaping whatsoever at all. So he's going to get
FDA's baby formula. So, and they're still doing stuff on that and everything. So that's like the stuff that's coming out of FDA, like the whole. And then some stuff on food too that's about to get rocked because of the way that Trump's dealing with USDA. So, and then
let's assume that McCary is also going to be coming under pressure from RFK Jr. To reduce non-communicable diseases. And there's no question that the number one cause of NCDs in this country is cigarettes.
Obesity.
So, is it now?
I would sit here and say so. So you have what? How many people are smoking in this country? Like 10% or something, and a third of them are obese. Yeah, I would sit here and say that obesity is probably the one that you're better like for health problems and everything, and why the person ends up dying. Well, at an early age.
I have to bite my tongue every time I see one of these anti-vaping messages on social media where they roll out people who want to protect children from vaping, and they're all. I'm sorry, but they're all morbidly obese. And it's like, wait, do you not understand where the risks are?
This is a Wendy's, actually, is
even worse. The government subsidizes some of those, foods that are not, healthy for you and everything. So, I mean, and then if you're, lower economic, they subsidize all the healthcare stuff related to it. That's where I'm really pissed off about the MSA is that the MSA was, states sued to recoup the costs related to healthcare. Well, why the hell are people who smoke not getting like a subsidy into their insurance because they already paying for it? I mean, it wasn't used to they were pissed off about the youth marketing, but it was mostly you owe us a bunch of money because of all the money that we just spent on people who smoke and everything. So
Lindsay, it's like
people in a Hawaii hearing though for a cigarette tax increase. And that shit pisses me off. And because they want to use it to go fund cancer research. So it's nothing to do. But we know this produces, smoking. And actually, funny thing about Hawaii, 10.2% of adults were vaping compared to 9% who were smoking. So you actually had more adults vaping in 2023 than smoking, which is a public health win if I've ever saw one. But they're all, and they're regressive as hell. So don't get started on cigarette taxes.
Yeah, go ahead, Charles.
People who smoke lead lives not worth living. Lindsay.
You should. I know. Ask my ex-husband how he felt about me.
It is really incredible the scorn that people who smoke have truly. It's incredible.
About vaping, and you guys don't steal this from me because I'm going to work on an op-ed on it because it's this hypocrisy and harm reduction. I was hanging out with some people and I was just like, you hear this thing about like, oh, they're just trading one addiction for another, and this, lifelong. Yeah. Well, what about fucking methadone? People do not come off of methadone. If you have an opioid use disorder, you get a methadone or the other one,
it's Suboxone.
Suboxone or whatever. Those are lifelong. They do not wean you off of it. You have to start taking those, or if you stop taking those, you're going to have withdrawal issues and everything. So what the hell? I mean,
depends on what state you're in.
Interestingly, Michael Bloomberg actually he supports
strategies
illicit drug harm reduction.
He's against. He's also Vital Strategies is against putting people in jail if they knowingly sell a drug to somebody and they die. And I'm sorry, I understand that like the stigma stuff, or people might be like half hesitant to talk. The last time I checked, you could have an alcohol abuse disorder. You get behind a freaking car and total into somebody, you're going to jail if they die. I mean, so as you should, you made that choice. This is nobody put a gun to your head and said go sell this to that person. Sorry.
No, I think I will say this again. There is absolutely the need and an opportunity for all of harm reduction, whether it be drug related, illicit or otherwise. I'm saying that we being the smaller harm reduction tobacco harm reduction, I implore people to make friends who are involved in opiate harm reduction or alcohol abuse or everything else, and try and explain to them a little bit more about what it is, what tobacco harm reduction actually means.
They tend to smoke too. You might need to explain to them that they need to quit smoking and get themselves a vape or a pouch.
What percentage of heroin or opiate substance? Okay, what percentage of people who are using fentanyl or heroin or something like that smoke too?
I would
very high. Probably a lot.
Like I would sit there and say at least 95% of them.
Yeah.
If not all. I mean,
so I would say we have a common enemy.
Yeah.
Well, there's also the fact that 490,000 smoking-related deaths every year is 5 times the number of Americans who die from opioids.
You can use any angle you want. There's every argument for these products being available.
When I worked at the psychiatric center here in Modesto, and there was 3 sections: the adolescents, the adults, and then the people that got they're told to be there. The other ones were they volunteered to be there. And when I worked maintenance in there, every single person in there had a cigarette in their mouth. Every single person, and that was their way of keeping them calm. Because I asked it, he says, "Well, they don't have their cigarettes. There's mayhem."
Rehab smoking sections and everything. It's like the one vice that it's the one vice that's tolerable in places like that.
That is something that is awful. Kicking people who have.
Well, here's the problem, though. You know how many mattresses I had to throw out because they were burnt? Because they would fall asleep smoking cigarettes.
Absolutely.
But that wasn't a concern.
I imagine it was more than just cigarette burns. That those things needed to be tough.
Do you know how many residential fires and fire deaths there are in America every year? It's like from cigarettes.
From cigarettes,
It's
well, the new one's
huge. The new ones people who desperately need to go into treatment for using illicit drugs. The fact that they're kicked out of treatment centers because they can't smoke or they end up leaving, it's unimaginable. And it brings me back to the whole hospitals and places like that in the UK where they actually encourage people who smoke when admitted. To take a look at, hey, we have options that don't kill you. Well, this seems like the perfect opportunity in rehabilitation treatment centers. Why not? My youngest brother, wherever he is right now, I guarantee you he's got a nicotine pouch or a vape. I'm just saying, I really wish we would see a little bit larger picture. And that just brings me back to the very simplest of philosophies. We keep trying to eradicate all harm, and that doesn't ever happen. And
Well,
So we all should never forget that. So yeah, smoking rate is down to 10% in the general population of the United States. The remaining 10% are almost all of them are low-income Americans or less educated Americans or American vets or Americans with mental health issues or Americans who are using illicit drugs or unhomed Americans or our indigenous population, American Indians.
I'll tell you those numbers.
That's who's smoking.
I'll tell you that's smoking, but from the Burfus numbers for 2023, as far as like the percentage. So you had 26.2% of Americans who earn less than $15,000 a year were smoking, compared to 4.3% who earn $200,000 or more a year. The college education is the big one, and the less educated, people who do not obtain any kind of high school or its equivalent or whatnot, 24.7% of them were smoking, compared to 4.8% of college graduates. So, hey, Democrats, if you really want to eliminate smoking, free college. There you go. I mean,
so the people who are passing these laws and these restrictions, these coercive measures and these taxes,
and those numbers went down actually.
They're all educated and upper middle income, and they don't know anyone who smokes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Hold on. Even the reductions are
good point, Charles. I didn't even think about that.
From 1995.
Hey, by the way, anybody who's got a son that wants to go to Harvard, it's free right now if you make under $200,000 a year. They're going to pay for the whole thing. They're going to pay for the whole thing. Get your kid out there.
So college graduates
save up and go to Princeton, please.
College graduate smoking rate declined by 62% between 1995 and 2023, compared to an only 16.2 reduction.
Hey, like that.
Along with guys without a high school education, it was like 29.5% of them were smoking in 1995, compared to 12.5% of college graduates.
Listen, the educated people should
huge reduction. My God.
Educated people should live, and uneducated people should die.
For the record, I was one of those college-educated people smoking. Okay,
Not only that, we should make sure that the poor people
I made a lot of friends
using
smoking.
things that will kill them.
But
hey, you got to keep the medical system running. You got to have somebody smoking. That's how it works.
That's the thing, though. When you realize, I don't know why it took me so freaking long. When you realize that the tobacco control, it's like, big health and big tobacco are just two sides of the same coin.
Right.
And it's fucking depressing, actually. I mean, and see this reality, and especially this consumer-driven revolution to be,
there's a pill for that.
Regulatory,
There's a pill for everything.
I'm not sitting here saying that tobacco shouldn't be offered the opportunity to bring, safer products to market. I just think that they shouldn't be the only ones who have the opportunity to do that.
Okay,
Especially
so
when
what do we do about it? What do we do about it?
Well, right now I'm going around and killing vape directory bills. And telling everybody that they are big tobacco.
Right on, girl.
And I got some really nasty, you might
bring the badass.
14 pages long. I mean, I go through everything that the FDA is already doing on this, and then especially your Republicans. Why the hell are you upholding a federal and unelected federal bureaucracy and their stuff and everything? And I'm yelling at all my right-wing friends about it too. You're having states endorse the PMTA, but you've been sitting here talking shit about the PMTA. Okay, you are hypocrites. So when our opponents call you big tobacco, be like, hey, if the shoe fits, I don't know what to tell them.
Wow. So are you actually going to be in Louisiana next weekend? Because is that when the hearing is?
I get back from freaking Tennessee. I go because I did the testimony, and then I had to go pick up some beer, guys. Okay, 8-hour drive. All right. That's why I go to take my car out. And
Lindsay on a beer run.
The important thing.
So,
You're the kind of friend everyone needs, man.
But you've got
back in the I shouldn't say this. I mean, I'm pretty good at not drinking and driving. I can't say in my previous season I was that.
No, man. You grab 12 hours in a Motel 6 and you drink yourself stupid and you get up and you do it.
Don't do it on the road. That's just one of the most selfish things you can do, and I've done it.
No, I think it was his pencil. Did you have a pencil in your hand or something, Phil?
Those things, what? This? Oh, this is an Enjoy Daily.
He thought you were smoking a cigarette. I go, no, man. Philip's not
this is a
smoking
6%, or rather 60 milligram Enjoy Daily rich tobacco. And look, let's just go ahead and put our feelings about
the big tobacco shit. Sorry to interrupt you though. I've noticed that I'm actually getting to the part where I don't know if I'm okay with certain shops. Actually, I don't care if they sell cigarettes at this point, because I know they're selling, like, they're not even selling legitimate products when you're looking at these disposable vapes. The only reason I even know that is because I got one from one of my vape friends up in Tennessee from his actual shop. Same freaking product, same brand, and I can tell you they taste they taste completely different. And so
and those are definitely the convenience stores. So your safest bet at a Texaco or whatever is definitely going with
the one, and
Enjoy.
And I'm okay with the especially because it's unfair for tobacco companies to have spent billions of dollars to get approval and then be losing out to, actors who didn't even sit there and register with the FDA. But it's also unfair that the process is so rigged to favor tobacco companies. But I mean, I just wish that they would. I wish that the tobacco would actually work more with independent vapor to create a sustainable marketplace that both fosters competition and innovation without completely eliminating.
But something I found that really does work is I carry around the Enjoy Ace, and this Enjoy Daily is actually very impressive for what it is. It's just a cig-alike and very inexpensive, and it's 6%, and it packs a punch. And I carry one around for weddings and. It does work, and I carry one around to funerals and debutante events and things like that. Funerals, not well. I'm thinking about today. Anyway, the point is when I have to go somewhere to an event, and I want to vape, I'll carry one of these with me because someone invariably will say that's bad. Well, I have this right here, which is been deemed appropriate for the protection of public health. And that is a much better place to start than,
that's what I always start with. The FDA has found these to be less harmful. The manufacturer can't sit there and say that, even though the freaking marketing orders it says that they have to get another marketing order.
Well, it is. I have found it to be an effective way to have that conversation if the conversation should arise. I never go out seeking it, and more importantly, in the past I have, and I'm reformed. But yes, I agree with you. The flavored disposable selection at your local Citgo or whatever is abhorrent. I actually am very much in favor of the Circle K model. We're just not doing that. But what I do know is that if someone, you can pretty much I would say that this Enjoy Rich Tobacco Daily 6%, this would work for a moderate to even heavy smoker, and it's actually, let's say they would save, I don't know, but a lot of money. I think they're $7 a piece here. They last 3 days, I would say, puffing harder.
Depending on how much you
I think they're good for about 300 puffs. This is starting to die, but I've been puffing. It's all about being
flavor profile.
Well, they have the classic and the rich. I prefer the
all vapes. Like any vape, what's your preferred flavor profile? Is it tobacco?
No, actually, I'm a vanilla custard guy. Okay. Right now, I'm a juicy peach guy.
Juicy peach. Hey, I like this like sour Dutch thing that with these disposables. It's the only reason I'm even really using them. But I need to actually get back to my Soren because I can even tell the high Nick is getting to me.
I'm actually starting to get a little woozy right now.
Yeah. You keep hitting that. We're gonna have to have that.
I used to be able to blow a perfect smoke ring, and I'm really kind of pissed.
We're gonna get in trouble.
Yeah.
Well, because
I need a glass of water. Sorry.
If you pass out on camera, we're technically responsible for you. So don't do it.
I haven't passed out since I was 47.
I will start a movement.
But Lindsay, if you are going to be in Louisiana to test or just to observe, please let me know because Mississippi is done and over with. They passed that bill, and I don't know how I missed it.
You're in Alabama, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
God damn it!
Yeah, I was to say, what are you talking
about?
Did
you tell I was nervous?
Bama.
You were at the Capitol today, right?
I'm a French Canadian Jew in Alabama. Can't you see it in my eyes? I'm looking around.
I was gonna try to come see you guys, but then I was like really just pissed. I was like, no, I'm gonna go hang out with the Tennessee smoke-free guys for a couple extra days, and
Hey,
come back out.
I'm glad that you.
It's a really good state, dude. I can tell you, I'm a big fan of America. We have some of the prettiest, even like just driving around on the interstate, quite lovely. So I drove I-40 from like Knoxville to Nashville and then back again and stuff, and it's just beautiful.
It's
the Smoky
beautiful.
Mountain. So tomorrow, before I gotta go to Tallahassee. I'm making sure I'm going to the Gulf of Mexico because I haven't been to the beach in a couple.
No, it's America.
America.
Not Central America.
No,
Definitely not South
Lindsay,
America.
okay, so-
Dude, like America.
I wanted to talk. I wanted to talk
listen
about.
to NPR all day. I will for about like 4 hours, listen to All Things Considered. Let me
Good
tell
luck.
you, dude,
Yeah.
those people just
Hey,
wow. There's a lot of
hold-
stuff that's going on. They
all
have
right,
nothing
hold
short
on.
of about.
Michelle, you said, did you find anything else? Because I didn't. You said in the beginning
Oh,
that okay.
I researched it for about 5 hours trying to
Yeah.
find something that he had said about tobacco. And what I found was an interview that he had done alongside, or he was either with Kennedy, or at some point he had worked with Kennedy on some sort of a project, and he was asked specifically what his thoughts were on tobacco. And he said, I believe that we both, meaning Kennedy and him, agree that when it comes to tobacco, if the science, I'm close to quoting it, but if the science is there, we need to, as a society, for the health of our people, follow the science, period. I mean, he was very clear in that statement. And he said, if the science supports tobacco use as a good thing in a non-smoking environment, then he was all for it, but he needed to see the science.
Yeah.
Well, they have to also follow the Tobacco Control Act. It's statute, and that's congressional statute. Trump can't write an executive order to actually like replace that language. But the one thing on there doesn't even have to do anything with science. The likelihood of somebody who a non-user picking this up, and when they mean that, they mean the freaking kids.
Well, this was back in like 2019 or 2020. I'm not sure now.
Yeah. Everything
So,
that I
you know.
found on him was behind a paywall. Everything that was written about him when
I
it came to
searched for a
tobacco.
long time.
Send those links over to me. I have some. I have a library access that gets me to Global ProQuest or whatnot, so I can get access to PDFs of a lot of.
Yeah, and they were.
I think he flip flops too. I think he's one of those that says exactly what you want to hear.
Yes.
So.
Oh, well, he's a politician.
Exactly.
I think they all are by definition, actually.
The governor came out. It was Ag Day at the Tennessee Capitol yesterday, so they had like all the animals and everything, which is funny because I was listening to how the farmers are freaking out about these tariffs, but that's not a thing for this podcast. But the governor, somebody's like, they start clapping. Some guy's like walking down the steps. I don't know if you've ever seen the Tennessee State Capitol. It's like up on a hill and stuff. Some dude's walking down the steps. People just start clapping. I'm like, who the hell are they clapping for? And they're like, oh, so that's the governor. I was like, again, who the hell are they clapping for? Sorry. I always, when I go to state capitals too, I do watch, and I realized it the other day. I watch House of Cards, like especially the first season of it, just like put it on replay so I can get in the mentality like all lawmakers are just like Frank Underwood. All lawmakers are just like Frank Underwood.
Oh, yeah. Lindsay, you should watch the UK version that it's based on. It is so much more cutthroat than you can. Oh my Lord, it is incredible. Yeah, yeah. Kevin Spacey's Frank Underwood is an absolute sweetheart comparatively.
As far as the Cochrane report, does he take a look at this? Let me phrase it this way. What in your opinion, all you guys feel like we should be doing as consumers when it's concerning him? Is there a way we can contact him? Is there something we can do on our end to send him links, to send him articles, to send him research, send him Lindsay's stats and numbers? Is there something that we, because I didn't really look into that, but I'm kind of thinking about it.
Yeah, I mean, just start making noise everywhere and everywhere. I mean, Twitter's a social tool. Facebook's good as well. I mean, especially older people tend to use Facebook more. You know, he's got staffers that are going to be reading this and everything. But I mean, You got to be, though, you have to be freaking persistent.
Exactly.
So I sit here
Exactly. And the
saying,
more of us,
you got to get your Andy freaking Dufresne on, okay? If you don't hear a freaking response for 6 years, that doesn't mean they might not come back with a check.
I like
and
that.
I might get
Andy Dufresne on.
I may get some shit for this out there. I may get some shit for this, but I'm not generalizing everyone in our community. But if you guys can rally together to save Grim Green's YouTube channel from being demonetized, you can do this for us. And that blows me away.
I've had my own personal drama going on. Okay, I finally got my groove back.
You're a homeowner.
You lost your groove for what, 6 hours? Your groove has never been more fucking groovy. All right.
2 weeks of like morning beer, and then like I did like a couple days where all I did was watch TV and a bunch of old movies and stuff.
Morning beer is for amateurs. Try morning tequila.
Day drinker, man, the day drinker.
Yeah. Well, just like, I'm depressed. Do I want to make coffee or do I want to yingling? I'm gonna do the yingling.
I don't drink alone. That's my only problem. So I would need to make a friend if I was gonna go day.
I'll drink with you, Philip.
You're in California.
We'll do it. We'll do it through StreamYard. You grab some bourbon, I'll grab some bourbon. We'll have a drink together. That's the way we won't feel like we're.
Ladies and gentlemen, the show is about harm reduction. I assure you.
Guys, getting back to the point here is y'all have seen my posts, and not that they're great in any way, but I think it's essential that each one of us write at least 4 or 5 posts and send it out to as many people as you can, whether it's the president, whether it's the vice president, whether it's your mayors, whoever you're having difficulties with. And it's not that hard. Don't feel intimidated by them, because you know what? They work for us. I mean, regardless on what they want to say, and we all have a voice, and it needs to be heard. And the only way it's going to be heard from is by us, by the people that use it, that want it, that deserve it, that want to live for their families. And you guys are great. You just need to do it. Y'all write good posts. I mean, I'm not talking about the panel necessarily, but everybody does. And because you feel it, you live it every day. And if you want it, please just get out there and find out what their addresses are and send posts to them. It's not hard.
And,
please.
And just on the subject of Martin McCary,
is what the hill? What the hell?
Oh, that's me. That's my daughter who knows.
Actually, that's 1991 or 89.
That's the only phone rate. That's the only one I can hear. Hold on, go ahead and talk.
So Martin McCary has a Twitter account, and obviously there's still an FDA commissioner Twitter account. So he needs to be basically hammered with actual evidence.
Right. I agree. Anytime you get somebody that is an older person, like, us, and, they have a vape story, or I see that, Charles, or anything like that. If you get a good science, paper or whatever that's backed, that's peer reviewed, pass it on to them. I mean, these people won't know because they're not going to look it up themselves.
But they don't see it. We need to understand.
It's important
because I used to work in the Hill. I used to work for Congress. Like I used to work at the NIH. I've worked with a lot of people, pretty high level people from FDA and CDC. They don't see it themselves.
Right.
The people who see it are their staffers. Right. And that actually works in our favor, because those staffers tend to be 20-somethings and 30-somethings. And like a lot of them are vaping. Let's just accept that, or using nicotine pouches or snus or whatever. And so we will win this thing.
Actually, a lot of them really aren't. Again, like, those are the college kids. They're college graduates. I mean, I think that you do have, there's going to be some, but I would say the United States is a very, very small minority. I I've been in Capitol Hill before and stuff. I didn't see a lot of people even smoking or anything, you know, and doing stuff. You know, even the lawmakers. I mean, didn't they bring smoking back into Congress a few years ago? Letting you smoke, and I thought they'd let you smoke in your office now again. They brought that back a few years ago. Yeah.
Really?
I don't
Write it down.
When did they do that? Because people were really pissed off about that. But it's like when the Republicans took over, the speaker was like, "You can smoke again." So I'm like, "Cool." I mean, hey, some of you guys, you know, the only reason you won re-election was because of smoking. So.
I actually support that move.
Yeah, I miss smoking sections in restaurants. Okay, I really felt that little rope actually protected me.
I have a question to you guys that have been on the Hill. Since only the staffers are gonna actually see the comments and things, the posts and all that kind of stuff.
Not necessarily.
Okay, but if they do, are they keeping tallies of the ones that, you know, like how many vapors are sending stuff in and how many, you know,
that's what I did.
When
I was a staffer at the state level, that's what we did, especially when you get those freaking, we got form letters one time, like 1,000 emails came in over my lunch break. And so, yeah, you kind of just.
You pay attention to it.
Because they're all saying the same thing. So you just figure out what side of the aisle they are. And then, yeah, you put a list together. And so at the end of the day, when they want to know about, you know, constituents and stuff like that, you give them, okay, well, you got this and everything. And so it's useful too when they go and vote, you know, and that's the thing with getting in touch with your lawmakers. And also a perfect example. So in Tennessee, you know, we went and met with one of the you know, the person's, you know, their specific state representative or whatever the hell that person was. And, you know, they got in touch with the bill sponsor and was able to, you know, okay, it started a conversation. That person has a good relationship with their elected official. And these are your elected representatives, people. They're supposed to be working for you. You pay taxes towards. Some of them have a decent salary, some of them don't. Congress has an awesome salary. They don't think so, but, you know, they're technically supposed to be working for you. You are their constituent.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So when they got pissed off about my ex-boyfriend, because I really wanted to move to Des Plaines in Illinois, because that was Rajah's district. And if Rajah was going to be my congressman, I was going to show up to his freaking office every single Friday and just harass his staff. You're like, when's he coming in?
You decided to go out with a guy so you could get to Rajah?
No, I honestly know. He moved me down. He moved me to freaking. He moved me to. I tried to block that whole thing. Yeah.
It's like, hey, I'll go home with you. Just introduce me to your boss. I like that.
Des Plaines wasn't that bad. It was like this smaller, like suburb of Chicago. It had a casino. It had a forest preserve. Had little, you know, bars and coffee shops. Like, we would never have to leave. I could walk to the casino. I'm from Michigan. Sorry, guys.
Wasn't Sam's Town, huh? Okay.
I wanted to bring this up because I don't know why this has become a thing again. So, and I guess it was enough for Jim McDonald to write about it. But vapes on airplanes. I don't know why this keeps coming back up every so months. I don't know if the policies have changed. I don't think they've changed.
I think it's probably because someone somewhere does not stealth vape properly and it ends up going viral. And we do not need that. I mean, if you're going to do it properly. And that's that. Also, I guess there are things, do's and don'ts. Yes, you can bring your vape, all your stuff on your carry-on. Don't put your batteries in your check. That's it.
And I'm curious because you guys do travel. You guys get on planes. I know Lindsay and Charles and
I forget.
Charles, go through your process. How do you pack to bring vapes with you? Or are you buying them once you get there?
I bring them. I bring the ones I use, and because you can, as Phillip was saying, you just put them in your carry-on. So it's never been a problem with me. In fact, one time I was traveling. I think I was traveling over to London on a flight, and I accidentally left my vape device in the bathroom. And the flight attendant was going around the room saying, "Did anyone leave this there?" And I eventually I said, yes, that was me. And she said, okay, here it is. I have to.
You went to the bathroom to vape?
You're on the no-fly list?
I thought I was the only one. No.
You're on the no-fly list now? Did she accuse you of vaping in there?
No, but I have been thrown off an airplane once, but that's a different story.
Yeah.
Who hasn't? I mean, come on.
Oh,
So
do tell.
No, I want to hear this though.
She handed the device back to me. She said, I have to take the pod out. You can't have that.
Yeah.
But, and later on, I came to understand she was also a vapor.
Oh, yeah. So you got lucky.
Was she English?
No, she was
okay.
She was a Yank. She was an American.
Well, that makes it even more amazing.
I lost a vape on a plane once in the seat, and I was just like, yeah, I'm not going to try to go get that one back. It's just a loss.
I
have seen
close to
people
that
forget.
once.
Yeah, I've seen people forget they have them in their pockets.
I brought vapes you're not supposed to travel with, and the places that you're not supposed to bring them in, and I did it inadvertently, okay? And it was in my check bag, which so that whole battery shit that they're telling you about is bullshit because I accidentally brought one with me, and I'm like somebody was looking out for me that day. I had no idea about it. I was in my bag.
You mean like a proper external battery or just a battery like this?
I'm talking about some states don't even allow you to have access to those type of vapes.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I've seen people throw $300 mods in the garbage can.
Too much on it, and people figuring out what it was and when it happened. But
yeah. I've seen people having to throw $300 mods in a garbage can because they forgot they had it when they were going through the check-in, and then you just throw them you got to throw them in a garbage can.
You're flying coach, and you have a mouth to lunger like this. You can stealth it.
Yeah.
Phil, if you're up front, in business or first, well, let's just say they're watching.
Yeah.
It also depends on which country you're going to.
Yeah, exactly. That's the other problem. So I'm going to go ahead and play this video real quick to help those out there. It's 2 minutes. So here we go. I don't know why this has come up again, but here we go.
People keep fucking it up.
Flying with vape gear is pretty straightforward. Just follow some basic rules and you shouldn't have any problems. The most crucial thing to remember is that any product with a lithium battery must go in your carry-on bag. This includes disposables, pod vapes, mods with built-in batteries, and loose batteries. Note that those must be stored in a protected case. The following items are permitted in either your carry-on or your checked baggage. The choice is yours. Tanks and rebuildables, spare pods, coils, and accessories, chargers, mods without batteries installed, and e-liquid. There are a couple of caveats though. While you can carry on e-liquid, passengers must follow the 3-1-1 rule. Each container must be 100 milliliters or less. All containers must fit in a clear, resealable, quart-sized bag, and only one bag is permitted per passenger. All additional e-liquids, including bottles exceeding 100 ml, can be packed in your checked luggage. Also, if you're packing building supplies, scissors longer than 4 inches must be packed in your checked luggage. Here are a few other tips that we recommend. Label your e-liquid bags so they're easy for security to identify. You should also double bag them, especially those in your checked luggage, as a further safeguard against leaking. Cabin pressure can cause tanks and pods to leak. Tanks can be easily drained at the airport before departure. For refillable pods, just remove them from the device, wrap a napkin or paper towel around them, and put them in small bags. The paper towel will absorb any moisture caused by leaking during the flight. Lastly, use protective cases and bags to keep your items safe and organized. Labeling these cases is also encouraged, as full transparency allows for a smoother security screening.
Not bad.
Right. So 130 million Americans use electric toothbrushes.
Yep.
Guess what kind of batteries are in those?
Yeah.
I know. Lithium-ion batteries.
Yeah.
Can you put those in your checked baggage? Yes, you can. It's like none of this makes any sense.
Yeah, it doesn't.
No.
That's why I was like, okay, why is Jim McDonald's writing about this? I was going to go look through it. I don't know if this something happened here lately, at an airline with vape? I'm not sure. So, but I thought, okay, why not go through that and maybe help somebody so they don't get their stuff stolen. I was going to say stolen because basically it goes in the garbage can and then somebody else digs it out. You know.
Electric
I don't think that's
razors,
it.
Electric toothbrushes. But like we have tons and tons
of
devices that are not being specifically singled out. What's being singled out is portable battery charges, cell phones, laptops, and e-cigarettes.
Well, you have the high output lithium ion 18650s, and those are potentially a problem. Just put them in a goddamn battery case.
Put them in a case.
Don't be a moron. If you're a mech mod enthusiast, let's go ahead and put the safety on or whatever you have to do. Let's not draw the wrong kind of attention if at all possible. But battery safety is always something that you can stand to hear more about. Okay?
What I noticed about that video though was hopefully that guy is going somewhere for a long period of time, because that's a lot of e-juice to take with you if you're just going somewhere a week. That's all I'm saying.
I find myself whenever I'm packing for a trip, whether it be 2 weeks or 2 days, I am a man who enjoys having a variety on him at all times. So I have a tendency to bring more than necessary. So and I've gotten better. That being said, where I'm going
with me last year. Did you go when I went there? Or there maybe
in Montgomery?
And the year before was 2023. Yeah, when John Roundy was there, Rob Roberts.
No,
one guy went in with the group, the Alabama group, and he had like 6 freaking disposables on him in his pocket.
That is definitely not. No, that was not me. But I know exactly who you're talking about.
Hey, it's all about choice.
The guy is.
We all know people like that.
Yes, we do.
No, this person has a problem.
I have 2 that I use. I'll alternate, but that's
he brings them into the chamber. Bad. no. But no, I was not at that one. I should have been. I was at the last one, and wow, that was hard. But what I think is, I need to start doing as much of. I need to show up for as many hearings as I can. So I'd love to hear more about the one.
We had some Zoom hearings.
Yeah.
I just went on CMRRA 101 because she's coming back, baby. But so that's my first testimony for doing it for that website.
I tried to sign up for the Mississippi, and of course I couldn't. It was not open. And then of course by the time. Oh no! So, remember last time we were on the show, I was asking about the Mississippi.
Oh yeah.
Well, they passed that, and it wasn't actually open to. Yeah, there was no way.
I think you have to be in person there, like Alabama and a lot of the southern states.
Yeah,
they want to see your pretty faces.
Yeah, my brother's in Jackson. He says it's a goddamn disaster. So, and it is.
Alaska's still in play. Illinois is the one to watch right now. I know. I haven't even had a chance to go see what happened.
January 22nd in Alaska sounds divine.
Is it? I mean, I don't know.
No. Wait, hold on. Wait, January 22nd.
Referred to the community.
Okie dokie. I saw June for some reason, and you all know where my head's at.
Yeah, it's in the finance committee. SB 24 is. So that's his vape tax, yeah. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
March 14th. So what's next?
That's SB 24, yeah.
50% wholesale tax.
So, okay, so these are simply in process. And
these are all, the list is long.
Where do we know, or rather, where are they having votes to finalize, and where do we actually have a date?
Yeah, I'm going to put the link to this article here, and then I think when you click,
I mean, I'll send it. If you're in the state groups chat, I need to go tomorrow morning. I'm going to actually go through my spreadsheet. I know I had a list of bills, but I actually just kind of wrote them down on a hotel thing because I was busy dealing with a bill at hand and everything. So I'll have an updated list tomorrow. I know there was a few hearings in several places this week. I know North Dakota's directory bill came back.
There you go. I think when you click the actual
I think it should take you. Where's it take you if you click on the link?
It takes you right to the bill itself. And when there's a hearing,
the actual bill text or the actual bill page?
Hold on, I'll share it. I'll share it real quick. When I clicked on that one, it took me to this page right here. And it's basically a summary.
The Legiscan page, okay.
Yeah.
And so for people who want to go, I use Legiscan myself when I'm searching for stuff. Go all the way down. Go down, going down. If you want to get to the actual bill page, go to that, and it's going to be that summary. That's going to take you to the actual bill page, and then the text is the PDF file of that text.
Okay.
And there's a couple states there. I want to say it's Rhode Island, but don't quote me on it. They don't actually do bill pages, so you can't. Like, they do have a bill page, but it doesn't, populate an actual web link URL. So Legiscan you have to use for that one, but everything else has their own bill pages. And when you can go, but Legiscan's really good at explaining too where the hell the bill's at and stuff. But when you go to the bill page, you can actually start clicking on, it's in a, you can go and go find the committee. You can go reach out to all of the committee members, send them an email. You can actually just send the same email and BCC everybody on it. All their email addresses are public.
Yeah. I'm blown away. I mean, 75% wholesale price.
Yeah, but see, the Connecticut stuff hasn't moved at all. But they are, so I think they're in, I think they're one of the states that does a 2-year session. So those folks they might not even move this year. They could be next year where they go hard on them. But who the hell knows where we're going to be at next year? Well, I don't even know where I'm going to be at next month. I know I'm going to be actually at ATNF next month. So if anyone's going to be in DC, you're going to hear me talk about
if I don't get my American citizen born abroad certificate pretty soon, well, I might be back in Ottawa. We'll see. I prefer.
You got a place there, right?
I have several places, Joe.
There you go. Georgia, Tim was talking about this. Oh, Tim was kind of surprised that this was happening. Yeah, he was, because he said nothing really goes on in Georgia. They've been kind of leaving vaping alone and doing its own thing. And that seems to be the smallest percentage on a wholesale price on any of the vaping products of any of the other ones.
They also, I don't know why, Georgia's also got House Bill 96, but that's a cigarette tax.
Yeah. This makes no sense. 3 cents per milliliter. So what? Now I got to do math every time I go into the store to buy something. Just give me a freaking break, man.
The weird thing about the freaking taxes, so New Hampshire had and this died too, by the way. It's going to get killed on in New Hampshire. I guess any bill that goes through a committee, it has to go to the House floor. Or to the floor, House, Senate, or whatnot. But there's a recommendation from the committee: do pass, don't pass. Based off the numbers or whatnot. So the committee passed it through as a don't pass or something. I think it was 11-1 or something. So it goes out tomorrow. But I was listening to testimony in it in January, and there's a vape shop owner. I think he owned 5 shops, and he's like, first of all, you guys aren't even collecting this tax as it is. He did. I guess he went to the Department of Revenue, got their tax numbers. He cross-referenced it with the taxes that he had paid to the state, and he's got 5 shops. He looked at how many, vapor product retail licenses were out, and it's 900. And he's like, and they figured that he was responsible for 20% of the tax that they collected. So that means, when you see all those retailers, they're not selling vapor products, or no, they're not paying the already existing tax. And now you want to go and tax it even more, and you're not even collecting it. And I can't blame you for trying to get more money, because you should have been collecting a lot more, and you do have that, unfortunately, with the lack of really a lot of enforcement. That's when I talk about these vape directory bills. They're so weird because it's they're not even enforcing taxes, and that's them getting money. They're literally just walking and they're throwing money out the freaking window. And they're state lawmakers again. Go look at their budgets. It doesn't make sense, but sorry.
Yeah, $1.15 for every pod. Charles, you like that one, huh?
So all of these taxes are a double-edged sword because obviously it's going to discourage people who smoke from switching to a safer alternative. It's maybe going to cause some people who vape to relapse to smoking, but it's also heroin in the fucking arms of state governments.
Yeah, taxes never go away. It's kind of like you guys with the tariffs. Those tariffs are never going to go away. I don't give a crap what Powell's out there and said transitionary tariffs. BS.
And you heard what he said. Not in those silly arms, in those.
The transition area. I was listening to. I love Kai Ristal. Okay, Marketplace. So big shout out to NPR guys. But it is their pledge week right now. So and you people.
Iowa's even going after nicotine patches. So each patch is going to cost you 6.8 cents.
Is it
already incredibly expensive?
Is it already in Squealdale? Squeal Day? Sorry.
And this seems like it's going through pretty quick here. Some committee hearing passed. Committee report.
Why? Is there an epidemic of teens using nicotine patches?
Yeah. I'm kind of concerned with Iowa. What's the numbers in Iowa?
Have you guys seen the coffee pouches yet?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord, yes.
What the hell is going on with that?
I have no idea. I just saw them when I was at a.
Yeah.
I saw them at Buc-ee's actually.
Bless that place.
No, God, I hate that place, man. Oh my God.
Now we know where Lindsay goes on her beer runs. Now we know.
This is where only the finest people go to get on a call that they can't get up the road for or
Buc-ee's,
pick up whatever.
My God, I'm surprised that Tennessee has like 10 of them. Okay, no, I steer clear of those places. I'll take a look.
What I noticed here, I don't know if it's
on
just
the road
here.
between here and Atlanta is just like it's like a cathedral. It's like the Notre Dame, only with
What I had noticed though, what's going on, I don't know if it's just this area, but what I've noticed is a lot of teens buying this not nicotine. It's a gum. It's energy gum. And that's what I've noticed. They're buying it by the pouch. I saw it on TikTok, whatever. But now I've noticed a lot of kids here, 18, 19, are buying these. It's a little pouch with like 25 little gums in it, and it's an energy. It's to get you going instead of drinking a Rockstar or Red. Yeah, it's a caffeine gum, and it's the hot item. I see all these kids carrying them, and they're.
Though actually there's a report that just came out in JAMA today apparently or a couple days ago or whatever. I guess more Americans are using ADHD medications than ever before, and then I guess they started during the pandemic or whatnot to for concentration or something. So
so you can look on the Monitoring the Future survey from the NIH, and teens, some teens are using prescription amphetamines.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Adderall.
You know what the slang term for that is? Study buddy.
Oh, study buddy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Right? It's like
I was in college once.
that implies they're not being used recreationally.
Yeah.
Apparently that study found 25% of adults were misusing them.
Yeah, they're using it because it fucking helps them. It's a cognitive answer.
Yeah. Exactly.
But
misuse, I guess, was defined as. I was listening to it, so I guess, but misuse was defined as pretty much not using it as the way that the doctor prescribed use.
Right.
You're using it too long, doing it too much, things like that. So yeah, I mean, that would be interesting to see the addictive I knew guys in high school who had ADHD. Okay. And then so when they had, when they took these pills, I mean, they just became, they were just regular. I mean, that one guy, he couldn't do cocaine because cocaine did nothing to him because because Adderall just balanced him out and everything. So, but I'm curious there's not a lot of research, especially these are approved drugs. You think there'd be a lot more research on it, on how many people have gotten addicted to these? How many people are on lifelong, speed addictions?
Yeah.
Amazing.
I'm already a speedy person to begin with. I don't need that crap in my
life. Lindsay needs something to slow
her
down.
Laughing. I'm definitely not laughing.
Hey, I've been there. Don't need it either.
Yeah. A good bourbon.
I too went to college. It didn't take. Apparently, I kept smoking, so it doesn't count.
I took a pill once. And it was supposed to be, I think it's like the one. It's supposed to be like one of those Adderall.
Once? Did you just say I took a pill once?
This one, I only tried this one once because it almost felt like I had a freaking stroke. I had the terrible reaction to it, and I went to text my boyfriend at that time and stuff, and it was all gibberish. I had to sit down for 20 minutes because I was just and he's like, do I need to come get? He's It's like, it looks like it seems like your text seems like you're having a stroke right now. And then I don't trust anything about pharma though. Okay. I'm not, FDA approved pharma has killed a shit ton, way more people.
See you vacuuming like your place, your neighbor's place, your next door neighbor's place, writing, I don't know, War and Peace.
Oh no, I'd be writing, I'd be like,
knitting a quilt, all kinds of stuff.
I feel like
so we're talking about the nootropic or cognitive enhancing effects of nicotine here. Like that's the root of this conversation.
Yes. Yeah.
We should all.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we were talking. Okay.
No, you're wrong, Philip. As usual.
many such cases.
We should all be paying a lot of attention to people in the biohackers community, the people who are talking about nootropics, because they talk about nicotine a hell of a lot, and I'm just starting to clue into that, and they don't have a lot of the hangups that public health, tobacco control people do, and just think of the children people do. They're just like, nicotine, of
course.
It improves cognitive function. Like,
right.
For people who might not
does that tie in well to a talking point?
Nootropics are nootropics, right?
Yes, exactly. They are natural allies. Yeah, they are natural allies to us.
Well, I appreciate that too for turning me on, because I've been reading a lot.
According to the Alcohol and Drug Foundation, they are known as cognitive enhancers, and they're drugs that some people use in an attempt to improve memory, increase mental alertness, and concentration, as well as boost energy levels and wakefulness.
Yep.
So that's So people who don't, hey, you don't ever know who's listening, okay?
I know, like biohackers are like, there's two different types. Like one type is trying to extend their lifespan, and the other type is really focused on cognitive enhancers. And that's, those guys are talking about.
There's not been enough information. Also, like, especially the way that people, the way that we've been trained, it's not even the way that people have been trained that makes us feel good when you're smoking a cigarette. Like certain things, like, okay, for example, I was like merging to go onto a different highway, and this freaking semi truck, I guess, he just starts coming out. And so I was like, shit, and move over and everything, my little Honda Fit and stuff. And, that freak out that you have after that, you're about to get into an accident and stuff. What do? I immediately hit my, my vape, and I feel better, on that one, everything. Yeah. After eating, after sex and everything, you go and smoke a cigarette or you hit your vape. And I mean, again, why, what is it just a habit, or is there something that we get off on it? And why isn't there enough studies done on that? Like, what are the actual effects of nicotine and how is it actually helping people? But it's public health in America. I listened to an epidemiologist that just raged on the WHO for its handling of COVID, and I loved it. I was like, man, if we could get her to be on nicotine, that'd be great.
Right. So that raises, Lindsay, kind of another issue that is always on a back burner for me, which is it's like people in the HIV/AIDS crisis, they really push Tony Fauci on research priorities. We don't do that very much. And there's no question nicotine is demonized the same way that cannabinoids were demonized and no research was done on their health benefits. And psilocybin, psychedelic therapy, that was demonized ever from the 1960s, and no research was done. And we could have been helping young boys coming back from Vietnam. Yeah. Because it reduces PTSD.
We're helping young guys coming back from Afghanistan.
Right. Yeah. The research was blocked, and research on nicotine is not really blocked, but it's kind of shuffled under the rug. Yeah. Everything about, so they're kind of, it's like a Janus effect, right? So there's the cognitive enhancing effect, and then there's the effect after you nearly get hit by a semi on the highway, which is, it calms you.
Yeah. It does.
It's just stress. This is like fucking amazing drug. And strange.
I have a question for you, Charles, because you've been a scientist for years and everything. when did the scientific method get thrown out the freaking window as far as testing your hypothesis to disprove it instead of manipulating the actual testing to prove your hypothesis right? Because like
Money.
I don't even pay attention to half of the stuff that's coming out on any of these studies anymore because they're bullshit. I mean,
survey says the answer somewhere around 10th grade.
We're all focused on tobacco control, and I think there's no question this field is off the rails right now.
Well, and we do it on our side too, though. Like, I was a little bit premature to sit there and say that flavor bans increase smoking. It's 1 year of data. You have to literally look at a 5-year trend to start seeing, especially it's like this overemphasis on the 2019 youth numbers. Those are still an anomaly when you're looking at that chart. It just shoots up, shoots back down. So in 10 years from now, we will probably, hopefully, unless science just gets more bastardized than ever. I mean, we just brought people back from the space station. I know we have the capability of it.
Elon did that. So, but the thing is that, you know, and smoking
SpaceX did that.
Thank you.
Well, yeah, privatization works a hell of a lot better than the government. You knew here. Sorry.
So smoking rates keep coming down. Like as many times as I argue on social media, that's going to increase smoking. I actually know what's really happening, and smoking rates continue to drop. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
Right?
Hey guys, we got about 7 minutes, so I wanted to get your little bit of input on. And I'll start with Charles on McKay and what you think is going to happen here, and how long you think before we see anything from him or hear anything from him about vaping or the PMTAs.
Get my crystal ball. And just
go ahead, get it out. Rub it.
The big one. Get the big one.
He's got. I don't doubt that he doesn't have a crystal. He has a crystal ball. I know it.
Hey.
He's gonna come back with a magic 8 ball.
Magic 8 ball.
Outlook is encouraged.
All right, who as a youth broke that thing? Oh, there it is.
Yeah, that's
what does the magic 8 ball say?
Being right all the time is not all that it's cracked up to be.
Wait. I have to put my glasses.
Wait.
Yeah, put your glasses on.
Let me give you some Cajun voodoo. Okay?
So what
does the magic 8 ball say?
What is the question?
How long do you expect? How long do you expect? Well, you can't ask that one. You have to ask it a pretty much basic question, like a yes or no question. So
within a year, do you see anything happening with PMTAs and the industry through the through this appointing?
Any positive traction within a year?
Will Trump ever stop fucking around and say
is it going to get better or is it going to get worse?
Yeah, here we go.
Oh,
there you go.
That's not a yes or no.
Hang on.
It's going to say, well, that's a rather nuanced question. Let me.
Now I need.
You broke your magic 8 ball, Charles.
Bear with me here.
Yeah.
It's hard to see when they get old.
Well, so I'm sorry, what?
Don't count on it.
Okay, well, let's ask. Okay, well, I think we already knew the one about the flavored vaping. Okay, how's this? Will Marty McCarty be more open-minded?
There we go.
To question. Safer nicotine substitutes.
Yeah. Shake that ball. Wait a minute, that doesn't sound right.
No, it sounds right.
It sounds right.
You know, talking to the kids out there, the youth, you know, they get it.
It says ask again later.
See, that is the correct answer.
He just wants to be shaken some more, that's all.
Listen, okay, so here we
go. Charles, I think we're starting to talk too often because I knew exactly what you were going to get when you said I need to go get.
You already know we're on the same wavelength.
Yes, we are. And God bless that wavelength.
Now it says better not tell you now.
Yeah, there you
go. No. This is as good as it gets. Right now, we should go ahead, step away from the table, grab your chips, cash out. We're good.
Asking a question: will I get a boyfriend by the end of the year?
That all depends. What kind of Congress people? Well, how many male congressmen are really screwing up?
Before I bang. I bang big tobacco lobbyists before I bang a politician, congressman. Okay.
Lindsay says ask again later.
What did it say, Charles?
I think it's defective.
It's broken. It's broken.
No. It's not defective. It's a useless, honest little magic 8 ball. Look at it. Yeah, toss that thing. Nobody wants to hear that kind of foolishness.
Magic 8-Ball is. Did anybody watch Weeds?
Which one?
The TV show Weeds with
Weeds. Yeah, no, I haven't.
I saw enough of it to where I was like, this is.
It's really not that bad. I love it.
It's like so much suspension of disbelief. I can only deal with so much. But now,
TV, living the fantasy. Okay, I mean, but it was during Showtime. It was during Showtime's thing where they had like 3 shows on that were really pro women. You had Weeds with Nancy Botwin. That's the character selling weed, the suburban widow. You had Nurse Jackie. Edie Falco was fantastic in that. The nurse with the drug habit, had a drug habit, and then you had Laura Linney in the Sea, and two of them. She had cancer. I recently rewatched that one. It's freaking depressing.
You have Apple TV, and you haven't seen what is it? Bad Sisters. It's an Irish series about sister. Basically, they off one of their sister's husband because he is legitimately the worst person in the world. You might need subtitles. It's very Irish, but damn, it's very Irish. It is hilarious.
You know the funny thing though, Breaking Bad, Time Magazine used to do, they'd interview people and they talk about their favorite mistake. And the creator of Breaking Bad sat there and said his favorite mistake was he didn't watch Weeds. He went to go pitch Breaking Bad to Showtime, and Weeds was on, and he does, the soft pitch, and they're like, oh, that sounds just like Weeds, and they're like, and they tell him the premise of it and stuff, and he's like, oh yeah, it kind of sounds like that. And they step back, and he's like, no, it was not anything like that, but it was probably with him being able to get on AMC. Breaking Bad got to way more a larger audience, that really made that more of a cultural phenomenon than what network, the paid network, Showtime, HBO, does. I mean, HBO's done really good though. If you look at Oz, you look at
Showtime regrets not signing that.
Showtime's Yellow Jackets first season was awesome.
Yeah, that was really good. Second season, really not so much, but that first season went. First season went hard proper. It was somewhere between I don't know, Lord of the Flies meets like I don't know, Clueless. It was brilliant.
Yeah. And if you haven't seen Yellow Jackets, the first season, I do recommend the way that I watched it. I binged it. I got into it a little bit later. I didn't watch it because it's one of those weekly series, I binged it on a weekend, and I was just like, did I just have an acid trip? What the hell was that? That's good TV when you walk away feeling that way, in my opinion. But
my favorite line on Breaking Bad,
like teenage girls, are just amazing.
And they open it up to. They're eating. They're chasing after a girl. She runs into a freaking pit, and then they break into another scene. They're like draining her body and stuff, and then they start eating her. And that's
as God intended.
Hey, it's a happy meal. All right, guys, it's 6:00, and Johnny has to go to work. Thank you, Lindsay.
We're going to end there on cannibalism. We'll see you next week. Thank you very much for joining us. Bye-bye.
Yeah, make sure to check the date on your Happy Meal. No, I'm kidding. Actually, don't go there, John. All right, I'm not going to go there. Everybody, thank you out there in chat for joining us. We'll be back next week. Everybody should be back. I don't know what happened to Allie. We apologize for that. We didn't do the tell me.
I joined tonight.
Something must have came up, but we'll get back to tell me something good because we always need some good stories on the show. So, Charles, Lindsay, Phillip, Michelle, everybody look in the camera and wave goodbye. Bye, everybody.
Have a great night, good people. Bye-bye.